Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the F100. I started naming this Winona, but I think at this point I just call it the F100, so that's pretty much what's going to stick. So, unless I think of something else. But now, the plan is I need to fix the shocks. The front shocks on this truck are gone. Like, absolutely toasted. So, what I need to do, because I hate working on this truck and hearing the fucking squeak and bounce and shake and everything. So, the plan is to get the old shocks off and get the new shocks on, obviously. So, yeah. Alright, so first shock is off, and they were definitely blown. Very, very blown. So, the bottom goes into there, the top one goes into that stud right there. So, luckily these are the easy shocks, and not the pain in the ass ones that are on the F250s. So, kind of lucked out there, thank God. But, yeah, so just got to get the new one on this side and then take the old one off that side. And, and I also need to try to find a drive shaft for this truck. So I really want to get a drive shaft in this to see if four-wheel drive works. So, I would love for it to work, honestly. It would make it cool. Alright, little update. The shocks that I did have ended up being wrong. So I ordered the correct shocks. They will be here at 5. We had to do some little magic and measuring and everything, and ta-da, we have the right shocks. So now I need to get the other side off so that way we can get that side done. Well, that way we can get that side torn off. That way when we get the new shocks in, throw them both in, ta-da, all is well. So that's the plan. All right, we are back. We found the shocks, got them here, and I got this one on, and it fits perfectly, actually. So that's good. And only had to do a little modifying, but they fit perfectly. So that's what matters. And guess what? They work. So that's great. Now I should get that other side on, and then we will have shocks on this truck. So yay. All right, that was very, very easy, honestly. But we got both shocks on. And the good thing is the truck don't bounce no more. So, hooray. So, it's one thing done. Next thing I'm hoping is the radiator. But it will honestly probably be the trim. So, we got new trim for the truck. So, I'm excited to get it on. I just have to figure out how I'm going to get said trim put on. So, if I'm going to rivet it or if I'm going to put two-way tape down, I don't know. So, I guess we will see when that time comes. So, we'll see you back in a little bit. All right, we are back. It is the next day. So, the radiator finally showed up. So, that means, as many of you seen before, the old one is coming out and the new one is going in. So, luckily there shouldn't be any coolant in here. Shouldn't be. Yeah, I think it's bone dry. So, that's good. So this radiator is going to be, if you remember Tammy's, it's going to be a lot like Tammy's, where the guy that did it bolted it in and did an absolute shit job. So, it's not bolted in like how it is from the factory. So, this will be fun. We have a nut there, and a bolt on the other side. Yeah, bolt on the other side right here. So luckily it's not going to be as much of a bitch as Tammy was, but it'll still be kind of a bitch. So, this should be fun. So, yay. Probably just put a wrench on this side, and then another one right here. So yay. So I'm gonna get to doing that, and yeah, so see you back here in a tad little bit. All right, old radiator is out. This truck, I've noticed, has been really rednecked by whoever built this before, because I don't know if you know already, but this engine's not supposed to be in this truck. It's a 400 out of a Bronco, not that Bronco, a different Bronco, but it's a 400 out of a Bronco, and it's not supposed to be in here. This truck originally came with a 360. Not sure why they swapped it. 360s make a little bit better power, honestly. So, don't know why it's out. Don't really care. But hey, the radiator's out, and that's all that matters. So, now I have to get, because I'm not putting this shit back in. That's not, yeah, because this is the top, and that's the bottom. And I'm not putting those back in. So, I need to go get some lock nuts, some little nuts that clip onto the clip onto the radiator support, and get the bolts for them. I have some down at the shop, but I do not want to drive all the way down to the shop for just those. So I'm gonna run to Ace and see what they have there, and go from there. So yeah, so then we should have a radiator in, and we should be good to go after that. So yeah, all right, so radiator is in, as you see. I got new hardware, so that way you're not using the stupid bolts again, and no more blocks, and it all works as it should, thank God. So the only issue is the hose down there is a little short, but if we end up having issues with it, we'll change it out. As of right now, it'll work fine for what we're doing with it. But yeah, so I'm just gonna let it sit, warm up, heat up. I'm gonna check the brakes while it's sitting here heating up, because I want to see if they're working still. So yeah. All right, so I let it sit for a little too long without the cap on it, but that's okay. It didn't get hot, it's just the fluid got hot, so we're fine there. But I did figure out I kind of figured out what's up with the brakes. So I popped a line off of the bottom because there's the line that goes from the master down to a junction, and there's a small line that goes from the junction to the line that goes from the frame down to the axle. And I took off that little line, and there was no fluid in it, so that means that we're not getting fluid coming down from the master. So I'm going to pop the line off of the master, and if there's no fluid coming out of that, then obviously, you know, it needs a master, and that honestly wouldn't surprise me with how long this truck sat. So I'm gonna pop that off, and I'll let you know what I find. All right, line disconnected from the master, and as you can tell, no fluid. So that means that there is something in this master that is clogged, and that calls for a new master, because this thing is going up for sale, obviously, as you know, and I'd much rather have good brakes on this than fixed brakes. So yeah, so that's what I'm gonna do, is I'm gonna have Hannah order a master for it, and that way we can get brakes on this truck and get all 4 brakes dialed in. So yeah. All right, so I got the master off, and as you can see, it was leaking. And if you guys remember from when I did the master cylinders on Fantasy Girl, Radio Girl and Fantasy Girls was doing this too. So glad we came here and did this, because that would have failed anyways. So glad we came in and did this. So now I just need to get a master cylinder here and on the way, and we'll be good to go. So yeah. All right, we are back, and a little side tangent. So if you remember working on Showgirl, we've been dealing with a lot of brake master issues, because we've been wanting to find the right brake master. So I ordered one that was for that truck, and we were going to bolt it on, but we had to bore out the booster Well, turns out if you order one for an F100, not an F250, it'll work, because the F100 bore is exactly what you need. So yeah, so I returned the one for Showgirl and bought one for this, so that makes it easy. But yeah, so I got this one on. I just need to, what I call bench bleed, by bolting it onto the truck and pushing the pedal until we get air out of the system and everything. So yeah, so I'm gonna do that and get everything bled, and then I'll get back to you when we have brakes. So yeah. All right, got the F100 out, and it starts, it stops, it drives. It's nice. Now we can start working on, now that it's mechanically sound, now we can start working on cosmetics. That being what we have in the back here, and interior, cosmetics and interior. Those are the two main things right now. For when now that it comes to this truck, I mean, we already did something cosmetic, and that's the front grille. But now we can start working on like wheels, tires, trim that runs down the side, and like I said, interior, because my milk crate ain't working well. So, but yeah, slowly but surely making our way. So I think next thing we're going to do on this will probably be trim, I assume. So yeah, I'm trying to figure out if I want to take this down to the shop or take Bandit down to the shop, because I've got Bandit up here too still. So you may or may not know that, I don't know. But I'm trying to decide that. Maybe I'll take this down, or I don't know. I'm trying to decide that. So yeah, next thing is probably trim on this. So we'll see you then. All right, welcome back, everybody. Today we got something special. We are gonna start doing the trim on the side of the old F100 here. And the good news is Hannah went and got new tires. New wheels and tires for this truck. So that'll be coming up soon. And today we're gonna do the trim around the tail light and possibly the tailgate trim. So yeah, the tail light trim is easy. It's just the two screws that in the tail light. You just pull them out and put the newer, longer ones in with the trim around it. So that's easy. Gonna do both of them, and then do the tailgate trim, and then we'll see what body trim we want to do today too. So yeah, so we'll see how this goes. All right, so trim rings around the taillights are on. They actually didn't come with long enough screws, because this gap right here was a little bit too big. So I had to go get the correct length of screws for it. So those are in the truck. And now got to deal with that. That will be a hard one, because the panel is warped. So I don't know how I'm going to get it on, but we definitely will try. So I've got two-way tape, because there's no way to get behind here to get like rivets or screws through. So it's getting two-way taped. And so yeah, which that's how all the trim will be on, is two-way taped. So yeah, this will look good. I'm excited. I am very, very excited, because these letters were supposed to be white, but paint shop didn't do that because they couldn't figure out how to. So tailgate piece it is. So yeah. All right, so it actually worked out, and it actually worked a lot better than I planned. So I think it'll work. So next is the side trim. That's the next thing. So, and I need to pull the truck out, wash it, and then next will be side trim. So I am excited. Very, very excited. So yeah, that just looks so good though. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. And I love it. So yeah, so we'll see you tomorrow. All right, we're back working on the old F100 here. So as you guys seen, we got the trim on the back done. And the plan for today is to get as much as the side trim done too. And then I also got the new bushings finally for this panhard bar. So the plan is right now is I'm going to replace those real quick, hopefully. And then we'll wash the truck because it needs to be washed really bad. And then we'll start working on the trim. So we'll go from there. And yeah, let me get this panhard bar torn apart. And then we'll go from there and I'll show you what we got. All right, so the bushing is done. It is on and done. So that's good. Now we got trim. So the plan is I want to do the driver's side first, see how it looks, and kind of work my way. And I've never done this before when it comes to these trucks, so this is all new information for me. Luckily we have June here, and that's kind of going to be my guide on door gaps and everything when it comes to how far apart everything's going to be. So it looks somewhat factory. So that's the plan. So I'm going to start with this front fender. Once I get it on, I'll show you how it looks. All right. Side trim is mostly on. The only ones that's not on is the front fenders. And that's because the ones that she ordered are wrong. They are for a 67, not a 68. So, because the trim we ordered is later 68 to 72 because it's thicker and it looks a little bit better. And so I need to ask her what she would like to do about all that. And we go from there. So, because we can still put that other trim on. It's just that it's a little bit skinnier than this, and it'll look fine, and you really wouldn't even tell unless you know what you were looking at. So I was gonna ask her and go from there. So yeah, that's where we're at right now on this truck. So I'll let you know about the other stuff. Well, everyone, welcome back. We are working on Wyona, or as you've seen, we have been. Well, this day started a long time ago, but it's decided to start filming now. Long story short, my air compressor's fucked, so now I'm over here paying to fill these up with air, because these are the new wheels, not necessarily tires, but these are the tires that are going on the truck until we get the new tires for the the truck that Hannah wants to run. So yeah, we'll see how they go. But I need to pay another $2 or $4 or however much it is. But yeah, so 3 are filled up. Well, I need to fill up that last one, but once these are filled up, go back to the house. The truck's already out. I just need to take the old ones off, put these new ones on. So I'll show you that when that time comes. Alrighty then. So wheels and tires are officially on. Well, what I should say, temporary tires. But wheels at least are on. And the truck looks amazing, and it drives so much better than what it did. So that's a plus. And then just an update on the trim. I still need to do the other side, but Hannah was able to find trim for this. So that'll be good. I'm excited for all that. That should be here soon, hopefully this week. And then when it comes to that trim, I may have to redo the black inside of it. But other than that, we are pretty much good to go. So, and then the seat just got done. So I need to pick that up soon, because right now we are seatless. And then we need steering wheel, gauge cluster, and then just to button everything else up. So, yeah. So I'll be back tomorrow to throw some trim on. All right, guys, welcome back to the F100. So just a little bit of an update. We put the trim on the other side, so that's done, and it looks really good. Still waiting for the trim for the fenders though, so I thought they'd be here by now, but they're not. It looks like I need to back up because I ran over the freaking tie down. Lovely. But as you notice, it's on my trailer right now, and the reason why it is on the trailer is because I am taking it down to my shop because I finally have an open spot down there. So it is going down to the shop, and then it will be finished down there. So that's the plan there. So hooray on that one. But I also noticed, because I was looking over this power steering stuff, and pretty much it's going to be very easy to convert this from the weird system that's going on here to back to what it used to be. So that'll be easy, thank God. And so pretty much all I need to do here is take apart, I need to take off this line right here that my finger's on and put this line here down to there, and then we will be back to having power steering again because we currently don't have any. So that's the plan there. And then I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I need to show you guys. The seat's done, so I'm hopefully gonna go up and pick that up this week, and then I will be putting that in. And then it's pretty much just wait for parts at this point. So, because I sent Hannah a list of everything we need left on this. So once we get that done, then yeah. So, hi bus. School's getting out, I don't know if you can tell. Yeah, you can really tell now. But so we're just pretty much waiting on fender trim, interior parts, air cleaner for the engine. I need to figure out how I'm going to clean this engine because it is atrociously bad thanks to the varnish. I may just end up having to paint the engine again. So that might be fun or not. So yeah, that'll be fun. So I'll let you know what ends up happening once I get the truck down there and we get parts ordered. So yeah. So good news, as you can see, the trim showed up and we got it mounted on. So that's good. And this trim is actually really nice for being used. So this truck must have been a garage kept truck because it turned out really nice. I dig the hell out of it. It turned out good on both sides. So I really like it. So next is to get the seat in and to get the power steering fixed. And then we got to do headliner, and then she's pretty much close to being done, honestly. So yeah, it's sad. I kind of like this truck because it kind of fits my style. So, and these colors aren't too bad. So maybe I'll hit the lottery before they sell this truck, so that way I can buy it off of them, because this thing's really sick. So yeah. Hi everyone, I just wanted to give you all a little bit of an update. F100 is down at the shop, and we're pretty much going to leave you at that for right now. Kind of haven't really updated you guys on the F100 in a long time when it comes to me posting videos about it, mostly because this project, like, little stuff happens, and then like a bunch of stuff happens in a day, and then like almost a week, like 3 to 5 days later, we finally get a part, and then like we do a bunch of stuff, and then it's just little big things happen at once, and we get done like at once, and then it drags on for a little bit, and then, you know, just how it goes, unfortunately, with this truck. Mostly because of parts, honestly, because between, you know, the F100 and the fact that we just got June done too, and the fact that there's another one that we'll be getting here in the next, actually technically tomorrow, but you won't be seeing that until later, of Hannah's. So, because there's been a lot of this, that, the other, up, down, round, and round. And this F100 has been kind of not necessarily put on the back burner, but there's been more important stuff to do other than that. So yeah, but we're coming to the close on it, but we still have a lot to do. We still have to install the seat, we still have to do headliner, we still got to do trim, we still got to do radio, we still got to do steering wheel, we still got to do power steering, we still got to paint the engine a certain color, which I'm thinking I'll just paint it black, but it also depends on what Hannah wants to do. And then we got to figure out a front drive shaft for it. We get the four-wheel drive working, and then I think that's it. Then we just put it up for sale, throw it on Bring a Trailer. So we'll see. So I'm excited. There's still a lot to do, and you guys will be seeing it. So thank you guys. Sorry this is a longer video, but you know what? It's fine. Hope you guys enjoy watching the videos of this truck. I really enjoy doing stuff for Hannah and Colton. It's a fun time. It gets me a lot more experience when it comes to these trucks, especially when it comes to a build like this, that it's really, really nice. And so it gets me to wanting to do more nicer stuff. So yeah, it also makes me realize how, well, I can't believe I'm saying this, but how cool short beds are. I understand why people like them. I personally prefer long beds, because, you know, if you're gonna have a truck, use it as a truck sort of thing. Hence why, you know, Radio Girl tows trailers and shit. And that's another thing you'll see, is we bought something for Radio Girl too, so you'll see that as well. So we'll see you on the next one. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, because we're growing. I want to be able to hit 500 subscribers by the end of the year. It is currently September 9th, and that's my goal. So let's make that goal happen. So if you're watching this and you're not subscribed yet, go ahead and click that subscribe button, and I promise you, you won't regret it. So see you on the next one.